The silent goodbye. Block 1. Athena had always believed that silence was a sign of understanding. In her marriage, words weren't necessary, at least, that's what she told herself. Her husband, Daniel, was not a man of many words either, but lately, his silence had begun to feel different. Colder. Distant. She noticed the shift when he started coming home later than usual, his once loving gaze replaced by something unreadable. She wanted to ask, but a part of her feared the answer. Block 2. One evening, Athena found herself alone at the dinner table, staring at the untouched plate across from her. Daniel had texted, "Working late. Don't wait up." It wasn't unusual. But tonight, something inside her cracked. She opened his laptop, something she never did. She wasn't even sure what she was looking for. But when she saw the email notifications pop up, her stomach twisted. A reservation for 2 at an upscale restaurant. A string of messages from someone named Lena. The words "I can't wait to see you again" sent her heart plummeting. Block 3. Athena sat frozen, staring at the screen. Her hands trembled as she clicked through more messages. They weren't just casual exchanges. They were intimate. Personal. The kind of words Daniel had stopped saying to her long ago. He loves her. The realization hit her like a punch to the gut. She wanted to scream, cry, demand answers. But instead, she closed the laptop and took a slow, deep breath. Block 4. That night, she didn't wait for him. She didn't call or confront him. Instead, she made a quiet decision. The next morning, Daniel woke up to the scent of coffee and freshly made pancakes. Athena sat across from him, smiling softly. "You have a big day today, don't you?" she asked. Daniel, caught off guard, nodded. "Yeah, I do." She placed a key on the table. "His key." "I know about Lena," she said, her voice calm. "And I won't beg you to stay." Block 5. Daniel's face drained of color. "Athena, I..." She raised a hand, stopping him. No need to explain. She met his gaze, unwavering. "I deserve better than a man who doesn't choose me." For the first time in years, he had nothing to say. Block 6. Athena walked out that morning without a single tear. The weight she'd carried for so long had lifted. As she stepped outside, the world felt different, brighter, lighter. She had always feared losing him. But now, she realized the real tragedy was losing herself in a love that was no longer hers. Block 7. Athena didn't look back as she walked away. The morning air was crisp, carrying a sense of finality, yet freedom. She slid into her car, her fingers gripping the steering wheel as 1,000 thoughts raced through her mind. Where would she go? What was next? The unknown should have scared her, but instead, it thrilled her. Her phone buzzed. A message from Daniel. "Athena, please. Let's talk." She exhaled sharply, gripping the phone before setting it aside. He had his chance to talk. He had his chance to love her. And he had thrown it away. She wasn't turning back. Block 8. As she drove, Athena found herself heading toward the coastline, where the ocean stretched endlessly before her. The waves crashed against the shore with a rhythmic certainty, something she had craved in her marriage but never found. She parked, stepping out onto the sand. The wind tangled in her hair, the sun warming her skin. A voice interrupted her thoughts. "Didn't expect to see you here." She turned. Noah. A childhood friend. The boy she once thought could have been something more, if life had unfolded differently. Block 9. Noah studied her, his blue eyes filled with curiosity. "You look different." She let out a soft laugh. "That's because I feel different." He tilted his head. "Good different or bad different?" Athena hesitated. "Ask me again in a week." Noah smirked. "Deal. But until then, how about a coffee?" For the first time in a long time, she didn't feel like someone's wife, someone's burden, someone's afterthought. She felt like herself. And she was ready to find out who that really was. Block 10. Athena hesitated for a moment before nodding. Coffee sounds nice. Noah led the way to a small cafe overlooking the ocean. The place was quiet, the scent of freshly brewed espresso mixing with the salty breeze. As they settled into a corner table, Athena felt the tension in her shoulders begin to ease. "You never answered my question," Noah said, watching her over the rim of his cup. She raised an eyebrow. "Which one? Good different or bad different?" Athena wrapped her hands around her cup, staring into the dark liquid as if it held the answer. "Right now? I think it's just different." Noah smiled. "Then let's make sure it turns into something good." Block 11. They talked for hours, about childhood memories, lost dreams, and the unpredictability of life. With Noah, there was no need to pretend. He wasn't expecting anything from her. He wasn't demanding explanations. He was simply there, listening. At some point, her phone buzzed again. She glanced at the screen. Daniel. She didn't answer. Noah noticed. "Still calling?" "Yeah," she admitted. "But I have nothing left to say." "Good," he said simply. He doesn't deserve another word. Block 12. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting streaks of gold and violet across the sky, Athena realized something. This was the first time in years she felt light. Unburdened. Free. Noah leaned back in his chair, watching her with an easy grin. "So, what's next for Athena?" She exhaled, letting the sea air fill her lungs. "I don't know." "That's the best part," he said. "You get to figure it out." For the first time in a long time, the unknown didn't scare her. It excited her. Block 13. That night, Athena walked along the beach alone, her bare feet sinking into the cool sand. The waves crashed rhythmically, a soothing reminder that life kept moving forward, no matter how much pain the past carried. Her phone vibrated again. Another call from Daniel. She let it ring. Then, just as it was about to stop, she blocked his number. A deep exhale left her lips. For the first time, she felt control return to her life. As she turned to leave, she spotted Noah in the distance, hands in his pockets, waiting. Not pushing. Not expecting. Just there. She walked toward him. Block 14. Days turned into weeks, and Athena found herself rediscovering parts of life she had forgotten. No more walking on eggshells. No more waking up with a pit in her stomach. She started working out again, reading books she had abandoned, even taking small trips outside the city. Noah became a constant presence, not forcing his way in, but never letting her slip into isolation. He had his own life, his own ambitions, yet somehow, their paths always seemed to cross. It felt natural. Block 15. One evening, as they sat on his balcony overlooking the city, Noah spoke without looking at her. "Athena, have you thought about what comes next? Not just in general, but for you?" She hesitated. "You mean, have I thought about jumping into something new?" "Not necessarily." He turned to her, his expression serious. "Just whether you're finally choosing yourself." The question hit deeper than she expected. For years, she had sacrificed her happiness for someone else's comfort. But now, she had a choice. She smiled at him. "Yeah, I think I am."